Hi, I'm Adrianne.
And I'm Ricky with RocketCon Reviews, and this is At the Table.
So we're trying a slightly amended format.
This will be a little bit longer intro than normal because we're going to explain the new format. We're going to kind of give you a clue as to what we're doing.
Which is good because I don't have a clue what we're doing.
Well, that's our normal way through life.
Yes. So it's a multi-review format. We are going to be reviewing 4 games.
4 games
today.
Today. 3 games sometimes. We're going to try and keep it around 30 minutes.
Yep. We will put the slices out individually, so you can watch individual reviews. But if you want to watch the whole thing and just get your review,
the full thing will publish first, and then I'll put the other ones up later.
Yep.
And we'll try and keep it edited tight. We can just do this one because it's already set up. And we'll do it in reverse. We're going to use it in reverse alphabetical order. That's
how we roll.
Yeah, there's some bad video that we lost of us.
It's okay.
Trying to figure out what order we were going to do these in.
Reverse alphabetical works.
So yeah, it's so we're going to do 4 games today, and the theme today is
the letter C.
So a little bit of Sesame Street out there for you. We're gonna jump in. We'll start with a game called Cryo. So
stick around.
Stick around. So first, we're gonna go with a game from Z-Man Games called Cryo. We're going to interject some more video in here.
So you can see the parts that we're talking about. But since we've got the board out...
Yeah. I was going to say we got some feedback on Reddit.
Oh.
Real quick. We got some feedback on Reddit that said wanted more pictures, more videos. So I'm trying to do that. You might see that in some of our earlier videos. Just bear with me as I get better. But let's get in here. Sorry.
Yeah. So production of this game, I don't even know where to start.
I know where to start. We walked into one of Jack's local board game store in Richmond. I shop their scratch and dent wall because I don't really care if the boxes get damaged. I know that's sacrilege. But Adrianne saw this game, saw the cover, and she very rarely goes, "Oh, I want a game," and she said, "Oh, I want that game." So I was like, "We'll get it." So that's where I'd start. So, the box art.
There is something about the art in this game that absolutely speaks to me. I love it. I could sit and just look at the board and look at the different details on the board.
It's very psychedelic.
It's almost, and I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel like it's almost got a little bit of a dystopian.
Sure.
Which makes sense with the theme of the game.
Your spaceship is crashing into this planet. You're trying
But it's also just all very clean. The colors are beautiful and soothing.
Yeah.
The component pieces are impeccable.
Yeah, it's got little escape pods that are great that you use.
So much detail.
The drones are really great.
Yeah.
The one thing I don't like in the production. So also, there's 2 things about the production in this. The game is very elegant.
The one thing I don't like is
I know. I know. Okay, so there's the player boards, which are great, but there's these little cardboard pieces that everything in this game is elegant. The player board is elegant, the board is elegant, the game design is elegant, and then there's these little cardboard pieces that are inelegant. And I understand that for gameplay purposes, which we'll talk about, it makes sense, but it makes setup a little fiddly in a game that is not fiddly, and it is the least attractive component in the game.
I mean, I can't disagree that it's the least attractive component in the game.
Yeah.
I just feel they put so much thought and effort into all parts of it that the cardboard components work.
The iconography is great.
Even the player board is designed to make it easy.
I don't mind the cardboard tokens for the sunset. That all works great for me. It's just the ones that slot into your board. The way they slot in the board is great. It just feels fiddly in a game that doesn't feel fiddly anywhere else.
Yeah, well, with the fiddly then, what would you give
4. Still great. Production's amazing.
I'm gonna go with a 5.
I know.
The cardboard doesn't
Alright.
bother me. I
Yeah.
love it.
I got it. Yeah.
So moving on to gameplay. It's a worker placement and a worker retrieval
with a little bit of area control, or area majority, kind of an El Grande area majority in it. As I was saying earlier, gameplay is very elegant. You put it out, it scales up depending on the number of players. The board makes sense with that. There's a little crash landing spots that you knock out that ties in very well with the theme of you've landed crashing on this dying planet.
Yeah. And you're trying to survive by getting underground, but you have to get from your spaceship to the caverns. It's got a lot. It's very thinky.
I don't think it's super thinky, but I think it's thinky enough for what it is.
Yeah.
It's a little more thinky than Raiders of the North Sea, which I think I have some comparisons to.
Mm-hmm.
With the way the worker retrieval works, but it's more it's a way different game from that. It just has a little bit of that in it. But it's it's just cool. Placing the drones out, the timing of when you pull them back. Do I want to explore new caverns or am I uncovering information from my opponent to use? It's got a good little bit of give and take in there, a little bit. There's a lot of good player interaction in this game. So
I feel a little bit differently. The first couple of times we played this, I really had no idea what I was doing, so I just kind of threw stuff around and I played really well.
Yeah.
This most recent time, I had a terrible game, my lowest score.
Yeah.
And I was really frustrated because I was trying incredibly hard to figure it out and to see what I was doing and to understand why I was making the choices I was making. And I failed badly. So poorly. No, I failed badly.
All right. Evil failure.
Evil failure. No, I did. It was not enjoyable. Yeah. But overall, I would say the game. Well, we're not that overall. Yeah. So my gameplay on this is actually 3.5.
It's a 4 for me. It's very elegant. I don't like the little bit of fiddliness in there, but it's a well above average.
I don't like
gameplay.
Feeling that there's such an amount of luck to it, so that's why I give it the 3.5. Value. So we believe this game is between $50 and $60.
Yeah. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Don't have a receipt. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good amount of time. It takes about an hour to an hour and a half, probably depending on how many people.
Which is what the box says.
I think for us, the first time we played it took a little bit longer, but it's generally it's a good hour. To me, the value absolutely reflects what you get in the game, all the attention to detail, the artwork, the gameplay itself. So.
Got a phone call. Sorry, though.
Never stops working.
Yep. That's going to ring on my iPad now. I guess we'll just have a little bit of the serenading in the background. I hope this doesn't get us taken down for copyright infringement or something, Apple. For me, the value on this is I feel like the time is fine. The setup is a little bit because of that fiddliness in this.
It's not that fiddly.
It is for the elegance of the game. I'll say. I think the price point of it is a little higher. Mm-hmm. You're paying for the production, but production doesn't matter to me as much as it does to you. So there's other games at this price point that I would recommend before this. That doesn't mean I wouldn't tell you to buy this. If we're going straight from you have $60 to buy a board game with, and this is on the shelf and you don't own any of them, it's not going to be the first one I go to, but I would still tell you to get it. So it's a 3. It's an average value to me.
And it's a 4 for me because I feel like it's reflective of what you get. So overall, despite my abysmal last game, I still really had a good time. I still enjoyed it. It was fun. It was engaging. I felt like I was understanding more about it. I appreciate how it's very balanced in what you do and the time. So even though you can lose, you still had, I feel like, a very equal chance. So for me, the overall value is actually going to be a 5.
I do really like this game so much that if you suggested it, I would play it. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna give it a 4. which it's above average. There's other things I would rather play, but I don't see this for a long time as being a game I would go, no, I don't want to play that. It's a game I enjoy playing, so if somebody wants to play Cryo, I'm like, sure. And it's on a 10x10 challenge, so.
And that's the thing is, even though I did a terrible job last game, I would absolutely still
I'll play it. Yeah, so you give it a 5, so you're an 8.5.
So I'm an 8.5.
And I'm a 7.5. So yeah,
about right.
Yeah, it's a good score, good game. I'm gonna say absolutely go buy it. So and then next up we got Concordia. So see you at Concordia unless you just wanted to see Cryo. We just did Cryo. Now we're doing Concordia. Why don't you start with production?
I'm really torn actually because it's not going to be consistent for me. I like the board a lot. I find it to be fun. The components they're wooden components that mostly look like what you need them to look like. They some of them are better than others because you've got like the wine jug and the wheat, but then the cloth is just a rectangle, and I'm like, couldn't you have made it more fun? So there are a few things.
It's better than cubes.
It's better than cubes.
Way
absolutely.
Better than cubes.
And I would say overall, a lot of thought went into all the parts. The artwork is really good. It's very fitting with the game.
The artwork is awful.
No, on the
artwork is terrible.
No, like the wheat looks like wheat.
It's so boring.
The board game itself, the board looks good. It's got all these mythical creatures.
This is Carpe Diem all over again.
I don't like it.
The art is awful.
It's got the mythical creatures.
I know.
What would you say, darling?
I would say the design part of it, the way the player boards show you everything that goes on it, the way the board works, and it's very intuitive. The iconography is great. I do kind of like the carved out pieces. The art is real bad. The cover
is real bad. The box is terrible.
Tokens are real boring.
Which tokens?
These cardboard
tokens. Yeah.
Yeah, those are kind of those are going to put
the wooden components are good.
3.5.
I was going to go with a 3.5 also. So.
Yeah,
it's got some great parts and it's got some not so great parts.
It's not quite as bad as Carpe Diem's production. It's a little more enjoyable to look at. But I love Carpe Diem. I just don't love the production of Carpe Diem.
I like it. But
all right.
Okay, so gameplay. What?
Oh boy! The gameplay in this game is so cool. The card drafting you do, where which gives you more scoring opportunities, which lets you build the engine. The way
this is an engine builder.
Yeah. Shut up. The way their trading works, the way the cards are very intuitive. You're spreading out and establishing colonies. So it's got a little bit of area control in it. It's got a little bit of card drafting, kind of deck building, the same way Century Spice Road works, which we're going to talk about later, and I also really love. So it's got Century Spice Road. It's got a little area control in there, the little economy, the timing of things.
It has never mind. That would fall into the area control.
There's area control. You can, people can build in the same place you are. There's, how do I move my troops out? What am I going to do? There's multiple different kind of paths to victory in this. There's the timing on when part of the game. So the way the game works is you take cards from you start with a hand of cards. They're all the same for everybody. There's a row of cards that you can buy by spending your resources. So it's got a little bit of that deck building with an open draft, like an open Ascension type where it comes in. That also is one of the in-game triggers. There's you spread your troops out, and the number of troops you have determines your move, and where your troops are, they go between routes that you can build colonies in or cities in, and when you build them there, they produce goods whenever somebody plays a certain card. All the cards tell you what they do. Everybody has the same cards. Once you get the hang of it, it plays so fast. There is no downtime in this game when people know what they're doing. Same, like we'll talk about Century Spice Road. Area control is really cool. It's really frustrating when somebody cuts you off because you want to go build there. And then the cards help you build towards what you want your in-game scoring to be, and the more of them you get, the more multipliers you get on that, which is really cool. Everything about the gameplay in this game is awesome.
I don't think I can add anything to it, except that it's not as intuitive for me, but I find that a lot of games, just because I became a gamer very late in life, don't have that intuitive. I'm able to grasp all the various parts of it, and this game does have a lot of different parts to it. So for me, that's a bit of a struggle. I still enjoy it. So I would say it's another 3.5 for me.
This is a 5. Hands down. Probably one of my favorite gameplay games of all time.
Yeah.
Actually, it is. This is in my top 10 games.
I was going to say probably nothing.
And gameplay for me is the number one category, in case you gathered by now.
Yeah. So this game comes in at $65.
Yep.
And it's supposed to take about an hour and a half. Would you say that you feel like that's reasonable or a little short?
No, I would say it is a 2-hour game until people know what they're doing. When people know what they're doing, yes, 90 minutes is. If this is like Ethnos or Century Spice Road or any of these games that's got so little downtime with people who know what they're doing.
Yeah. Evolution.
If you play Evolution, you can play Evolution simultaneously
with
people who know what they're doing.
Yeah.
No downtime in those games makes that play count better, play time better, a little bit longer with people who aren't as experienced with the game, which is most of the people I play it with.
Yeah. And for me, it's just a little too long, but that's probably a little bit of my not quite getting all the mechanisms yet. If it were an hour game, I would like a lot more. For that time and that price, it just goes on a little long for me because I can tell for me, like, I am not going to win.
Sure.
And even in game scoring, I know I'm not going to win.
Yeah.
So once I've reached that point in a game, it loses a little something for me, which is, being new. So I'm going to give it a 4. And I think it's a little generous.
I'm going to go with a 4.5. At $65, it's a hard justification for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only reason I don't put it at a 5. Because of game time, I would play this anytime. So on that side, the replayability, the amount of time I spend playing it versus like setup and breakdown, totally odd. That's a 10 out of 5. It is a little high at 65, but I would tell you if I'm looking at a lot of $65 games, this is going to be one I recommend to somebody. Like if they got $70, this is going to be worth it, and you can pick it up for less than that from most places right now. It's been out for a while. This is the second edition, I think, so you can get it for cheaper. For me, if somebody had $70 for a game, I would say Cryo, which was the previous video, and get yourself, a coffee or something. Sure, I got you. A 4.5 is gonna be tougher if you don't if this isn't for your cup of tea, get in there. But I think if the gameplay appeals to you, then this is a 5. If the gameplay kind of appeals to you, it's a 4. That's the only that's what brings it down. Yeah, I think that's fair. And overall, I know what you're going to go with for overall. I think our viewers do too. Yeah. For me, it's actually a 4 overall. I don't hate it. I want to get better at it, so I will replay it and I will pay attention to what I'm doing unless it's like time change weekend and it's already like 11 o'clock at night and we're tired. Recent example. But generally, I enjoy it. I want to play it. I want to get better at it. So it's a solid 4 for me. Yeah, it's a 5. Yeah. Concordia is amazing. So for me, that's a 9. For her, it's an 8. Or 7.5 for her. Sorry. Yeah, 7.5. I think it's pretty. So Concordia, great for me. It's pretty good for her. Yeah. And next, we're going to talk about Century Spice Road. So now we're here to talk about Century Spice Road. Couple of things about this before we get into it. Mm-hmm. There's 2 different versions of this game that are the exact same. There's Century Spice Road and Century Golem Edition. We are doing Spice Road because I bought the Spice Road trilogy. We don't have the Golem Edition. We don't have that Golem trilogy. So if you like the art from Gollum, it's the exact same. Everything else about it's going to be the exact same, and I understand the production's a little bit better on it. The
I
other
find it
part,
hard to believe because
no, I mean it's like a lot nicer. Apparently,
Yeah.
it's got like little gems instead of stuff. Like, yeah, we might have to go buy those now.
yeah,
too.
we are.
And I love all. Well, I've only played 2 of them, and I love the combination from them. These can be combined into. There's 2 other games. They can all be combined together to make one giant game, or you can mix and match them. That's a part of the appeal of this game, but not something. Sorry, I got to work text. Not something that impacts this. This is the first game of the series we're going to talk about. Sorry, that long-winded intro. Let's talk about Century Spice Road.
Production. It's so freaking cool.
Yeah.
I mean, so the coins are actually metal. You can hear them, which is awesome.
Yeah.
The components, normally I don't like cubes, but
It works pretty well.
here
for
it
this
works
game.
well because
Yeah.
it's spices, and that makes way more sense than like Kyle's
And
actual
how
spices.
how they slot into your little board. And
Yeah,
how you- like just the maneuverability.
It works
of them.
really
Yeah,
well.
it does.
The cups are really nice. I could see somebody could upgrade this very easily if they
Sure,
wanted to, but there's
sure.
no need to.
Cards are intricate artwork.
And the art.
Yeah, it's really good.
I mean, that's a theme for me.
Yeah.
But the art is so beautiful.
No, it's good. It's really good art.
It's very consistent across. I don't think I've seen a single card that's a repeat, but I can't.
I don't know. I honestly haven't really thought about it. That's really it's individual art. There's the starter cards are the same.
Right,
but,
right. But
yeah.
I don't think like the point cards are the same. I think
No,
every
I
single
think
point
you're right,
card is
yeah.
different. So just a lot of little details went into it.
I know, like Tom Vassell would complain about it being a trading game in the Mediterranean. But
Tom.
yeah.
Who we do not know.
No, we don't know. But I did send him a message on Reddit at an AMA because I told him he was part of the reason why we started doing this. And,
Yeah.
and he replied. It was a very
Pretty
kind message.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, Tom, if you ever see this, that was very touching. Thank you. But the production for me, it's really good. It's a 4 for me.
It's a 4 for me also.
It's really good. It's not like, oh my god, this is incredible, but it's very the coins are a 5.
To me,
but
the
they're-
coins push it up from a 3.5.
Yeah.
If these were cardboard, I would
Yeah.
say 3.5, a little above
Oh,
average.
yeah.
But the
Yeah.
coins are very cool.
Yep.
So gameplay. So it's got a couple different parts to it, but it's more or less an open draft game with a little bit of
It's kind of a deck builder.
Deck
It's
building
not
to
deck.
it?
It's not a deck builder,
no.
but it's kind of deck buildy where you
You can use your cards
yeah.
to create certain engines or
you
to
can you can draw you
get
can
you
draft
certain-
cards and then you pick
Yeah.
them all up. Like when you pick them all up. So there's not a discard pile. So I guess it's kind of a hand builder more than a deck builder because you don't have to draw cards if they're all just in your hand or played.
And like how when you buy a card, you get to put it in your hand immediately and you can use it, so that
cards are
helps
immediate.
you.
Yeah, and you can do it at any point. You just have to spend like usually yellow spice to go higher up on there. Like you put one down for each card, but any spice can be spent. So
and I love how what you do is on every card. There is no question. If you can identify the cubes or the tokens on the card, you know what you're supposed to do.
Once you understand, like the iconography is very clean, which ties back into the production.
And it's a very fast game.
Yeah,
so the gameplay is
it's quick. It's quick. Yeah. There's only really 3 things you do with the cards. You can upgrade. Yeah, you can upgrade cubes. You can just acquire cubes, or you can trade cubes. I mean, that's spices. And then you either claim point cards, or you take new cards, or you play a card. So again, it's really easy to understand.
And we've gotten to. I mean, we completed it on our 10x10.
Yeah,
but we've gotten to the point where I think we can almost play it simultaneously the whole with the exception of making sure you don't take a card before your opponent.
It's almost instantaneous play for
everything
us.
else is just boom, boom, boom. So with gameplay,
it's a 5. It's because if it was a longer game, the gameplay would be worse because of how quick it plays, which we'll go into in value.
For me, it's a 5 also.
Okay.
Actually, I hadn't thought about all of the parts quite as much, but when we started talking about it, I did realize that it checks a lot of boxes.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yeah. So the value. So this game
$40.
$40, and it takes about 25 to 40 minutes, depending on how
Yeah,
many people and your
yeah,
level.
Like I don't think I've ever played it with 5 people. With 4 people, we've definitely got it done 30 to 35 minutes.
It says you have to be, I think 8 or older,
Yeah,
which you could probably do a little bit,
Yeah.
but like if we
It's
play this
definitely-
with our nephews,
Yeah,
it would probably
I've
take
pl-
a little bit longer.
No, I think my nephews can handle this fine.
In 30 minutes?
We played It's a Wonderful World, so they
Okay,
can handle this.
I was just thinking the speed.
Sure,
but,
sure.
but
No, I think the 45 minutes with 5 players.
Yeah.
Maybe your first game would be a little bit longer, but once you get your head around
Yeah,
the mechanisms,
it's go.
Yeah,
so for $40, 30 minutes, I mean, I think that's really hard to beat. So to me, that's a 5 right there.
I'm going to go to 4.5. It's almost a 5. It's like probably 4.9. But really,
4.95.
I can understand this not being worth. I can understand this not being worth $40 or something. To me, it is worth it, absolutely.
That's hard for me because to me, this is also, I'm like, $40 this game, infinite playability.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, it's great.
But if you didn't like it,
yeah,
like because there's not a lot.
If
There's not a lot
it.
of variation in the game. Like it's the same game every time.
Yeah, I mean, there's the variation in what cards come out.
Right, but there's
like,
there's no okay. I'm going to try this tactic this time.
Yeah, so, it's you're reacting to what the board. It's a very tactical game. There's not a lot of strategy.
Yeah.
You're just reacting to what's happening and what the other players do. That's that. But the player interactions it's a 4.5 for me.
And it's a 5 for me, which I think I already said.
Yeah.
If I didn't, it's a 5. Say it again. And then overall gameplay.
Overall enjoyment.
Right. So for me, there's a lot about this game that I really like. I don't think I could say it's my most favorite game of all time, so I'm going to go with a 4.5 on overall enjoyment. Don't know what would make it a full 5, but I know it's not.
Well, if you watch the Concordia review that was on right before this, you'll know I loved Concordia. And one of the things I love in Concordia is the hand building. And that's great, and that's all this game is hand building. It gets me, those scratch the same kind of itch for me, but it does it a lot quicker. So if I've got me and one other person, or, I've got some people that don't have as much time, or we want to close out a game night, but the thing I love about Century Spice Road is I would be content to play just it. We've done that before.
On a game night.
We've played 4 games of this before,
and it's not boring.
It's always fun.
So
it's a 5 for me.
For your overall score, then I was about to say
it's a 9.25,
and it's the same for me. Which is a little surprising. I did not expect it to be as high as you because I didn't think I loved it, but then we talk about it and I'm like, that's a lot. That's a lot of fun, and now I want to play the other 2. So
they're not quite as good. But I haven't actually played the third one. I've read the reviews of it.
Dipper did not appreciate it.
I do like the second one a lot, and I love the game they made together, and I'm really excited to do all 3 of those. So I'd be down for that.
Yep.
So now we're gonna do Call to Adventure.
So you just saw us review Century Spice Road, and now we're reviewing Call to Adventure.
Call to Adventure is from Brotherwise Games, who did Boss Monster, which I do not like.
I have not played.
And Unearth, which I did like.
It's fine.
I played it a lot, but it kind of fell out of favor after I played my 15, 20 times of it.
Yeah. So, production value.
Call to Adventure cards are great.
Beautiful cards.
It's got the runes are awesome.
So cool.
The art, the cards, the production in this game is top tier.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't think of a single thing that I would change about even the energy crystals or whatever you call those. They look like actual crystals. It's incredible how much thought and attention went into the various parts.
The way the box fits together is so good. Gosh, I mean,
I forgot we had that. I mean, just looking at this again, the artwork is so pretty.
The tokens are a little
loud.
No, just a little kind of cheap, like cheap plastic. Like the sun and the moon thing, and boy, and if that's what you're talking about, like the crystals and the such a small part of the production of this game, it's a 5 for me.
Yeah, it's a 4 for me.
Interesting.
And honestly, the biggest reason for it is I wish I had a player board so that I could put all my cards on it, as opposed to trying to make it work in front of me. And I wish there was a place to put all your
Oh,
cards.
you mean the way the tableau you build?
Yeah,
with the...
yeah. I don't think
it does kind of have that.
it does. I don't know. I think it's beautiful, but it's not the best production game. I'm sorry, Dipper.
Yeah.
Not the best production game we've talked about, to me, even in this series right here. So
okay.
I stick with my 4. I defend it.
Yeah.
I'm happy about.
No, I got you.
Gameplay. It's a lot of fun to me. It's a very fast game to pick up. You throw your runes. You either defeat or you not defeat. What's the word?
So the way the game works is there's 3 different ages, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And there's your origin, your destiny, and there's one other, like your background, your origin, your and then your destiny. There's 3. I don't
growth.
Yeah,
it's like your growth,
your adventure.
Yes, your travels or something.
And you have scoring cards for those. So you're there, and then there's things that come out where you can combo them together to build more points. You're throwing runes, and that determines whether you're successful or not. And as you
success or fail.
Yeah, success or fail.
That's what I was looking for.
And as you add more, like when you go for certain achievements, the more in that skill you have, because it's a role like building the backstory of a character.
Yeah.
The more you do in that thing, the more runes you get to cast in that. So you can, the more cast, the more chances of success you have.
If you build properly, you get more runes, which gets you the better cards or the better storylines. Yeah. So it's very easy. It
is easy.
Very quick to pick up.
Yeah.
It's not terribly competitive.
No, you're definitely there's very little player interaction. The most is when somebody goes for a card that you want.
Yeah, but even then, there are enough other cards that you'll probably be able to get one very similar to that as well.
Yeah.
So, for me, for game theory, it's a 3.5.
It's a 2 for me. Like if you were going for just gameplay in this, it's hard for me. I mean, it's the best gameplay in a Brotherwise game so far, and I do like Unearth. Yeah. It's just the gameplay in this is, it's just a little bit more risk mitigation in there, but it's a very lightweight game. We'll talk about value where it comes back around, and I do like this game. But if I was going straight up gameplay, I don't love the gameplay in this game. You can have one bad turn and just be behind the rest of the game. Yeah. And you don't get to go on quite as good of an adventure as other people if they get left behind.
I don't disagree with you, but I would pick this over other games.
Yeah, I like the game.
So that's why I'm like a 3.5, because
I got you.
There are some games where I'd be like, I don't want to play that. Let's play Call to Adventure.
I got you.
And speaking of value, because you alluded to that, so this is about $40. Yeah. It takes, depending on how many people and how much you're paying attention, it takes about 30 to 45 minutes, maybe a little bit longer with more people, or
if you have bad turns.
Yeah. There's a lot of downtime.
That's part of what brought the gameplay down
for you. Yeah.
There's a lot of downtime.
But to me, the value is like, are you engaged the whole time?
It's always fun, but it's one of the I think it's it's a decent value.
It's a lightweight game.
It is a light game,
and it's maybe a little bit more expensive.
I don't mind the price so much because I do think the production's really good.
Yeah,
it's really pretty. I don't and at $40, that puts it a little under that heavier game price point, it like if the production was worse, it wouldn't be worth it. But the art is really good.
The art is really good, but see, it's the same price as Century Spice Road.
I understand.
And
I'm going to give this a 3.
Okay. Oh, well, I actually also gave it a 3.
It's a 3. So I think it's average value for the game.
Yeah.
But it's
if you found it on sale for $30, I would say,
sure,
I think it's a $30 game.
Yeah.
The artwork is beautiful, but
there's not a lot of game there.
Yeah.
But when we get to the overall enjoyment, you'll hear why part of it. Like, I'm not going, because I don't want to spoil this part of it, because it's the most fun.
I want to spoil this part, but now
we're
at the overall enjoyment.
It's like a 4.5.
Interesting. That is not what I was expecting.
And the reason I'll say that, we played this a lot.
Yeah.
We played this a lot.
We did.
We don't play it anymore because we played it so much.
We probably played it 30 times.
We got a journal where we were keeping track
of
everybody's stories from this game. Is it a good game, like systematically? No. Is it a good game thematically? Oh my god.
Yeah.
The theme in this game is awesome. And I'm almost tempted to put it at a 5. But the only reason I don't put it at a 5 is because I knew there was an end coming. And then I got an expansion for it, which I was like, I like this. But I was like, you know what? I don't remember the Patrick Rothfuss book enough for this to matter to me. And that's the one thing that's like, it's got a shelf life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's built into it. But, I mean, I almost kind of want to go back and bump up my value when I start talking about this. But what I would say is if you like role-playing games, if you like, telling a story, this is an automatic purchase. We got our money's worth out of this game.
We absolutely got our money's worth out of it. And
yeah.
Even if I didn't want to play it, even if I didn't pick to play it and somebody else really wanted to play it, I would still play it. And I know I'd still have fun because part of the experience is the storytelling and the interacting. So for me, it's a 4 also, and it's a 7.25 for both of us.
7.25 for both of us. But if you love the theme, if you love theme, you must buy this game. Yeah. So we're going to close out. We'll do our goodbyes. So call it a picture. Bye.
So that was at the table.
That was at the table. We're gonna close out with
recap.
Our recap. We talked about 4 games: Cryo, which is a worker placement, worker retrieval, kind of dying planet.
A 7.5 for you, an 8.5 for me.
Yeah, it's a good buy, I'd say.
Yep.
Then we did Concordia,
which is a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a hand management game, with a little bit of deck building, some area control, a little economic engine in there, and it's a 9 and one of my favorite games of all time.
And it's a 7.5 for me. Up next is Century Spice Road, which is
part of the hand management of Concordia. It's that part of it. That's the whole game.
Yeah,
you build your hand to claim point cards, and it's amazing. Spice trading in the Mediterranean.
And it's a 9.25.
9.25. This is enthusiastic. I love both of those games.
Yeah.
2 of my favorite of all time.
And then we're wrapping it up with Call to Adventure, which is very much a storytelling game.
So if you love theme,
if
you love fantasy theme, super thematic. If you love it, I will reiterate. If you are just watching the recap and you skip that one, if you love thematic games, if you love role-playing games, it is an automatic buy. But if you're looking for a game, it's a 7.25. There's a lot there. Yeah,
split score.
Yeah, we both like it, but if you love thematic, you'll love this game.
Yeah.
So that was our first at the table.
Let us know what you
like and subscribe if you're into it, and what we're getting ready to do. We got a busy weekend.
We've got a couple different bands coming with us.
Yeah, we're going to see some bands. We're going to interview some bands.
So one of the fun times.
Yeah, so one of the things we're going to be pushing out after this is we're going to be doing some interviews and just getting to know some people. And one of them is going to be Austin Lucas,
who's the greatest songwriter of our generation.
I
said it, meant it.
Yeah, that is actually how she feels. We've known
freaking
Austin
talented.
for
Over a decade.
Over a decade. We're very good friends, and she still gets starstruck around him.
I
And he's
do.
going to be here
Don't
staying with
watch
us for a
this,
couple of
Austin.
days.
Don't
So
watch
Austin,
this, but-
Austin hopefully doesn't see this, but he's bringing a really cool tour with him.
Yeah.
And my friend of mine, Kevin, has a new band.
Plastic Flamingos.
Plastic Flamingos, and they're going to be they're staying with us, so we're going to see them play tomorrow night. And then we're going to
Should be
see,
a lot of fun.
and then Austin and his friends are going to play here because that's going to be great. We're going to have a show at our house.
So a busy weekend.
For us,
but it should be a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to it.
Really glad we get to see our friends.
Yeah. So yeah, it's great that we can get back together with people.